Correct? Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of auction.com, welcome to Culture Estates for our monthly pre-auction review. Today we'll be focusing on our Hudson, Bergen, and Union counties. I'm a little short with my expert panel here, but I have two of the best in the business to go through about 20 assets today with these counties. Again, auction.com is here to serve you and offer you a review of assets coming to sale at these various sheriff sales in the coming weeks. All right, these will be for assets coming to sale the week of the 30th. All right, so I'm sorry, the 24th and the 30th. So, ladies and gentlemen, that would be the 23rd and the 30th. Thank you very much. And Luis, Nick.
Okay, get the dates right. I'm good.
Yes, sir.
I'll start by introducing myself. My name is Louis Slave. I'm the CEO of Culture Estate. We're going to walk you through a bunch of properties today, as Bill mentioned, and we'll show you how to make a decision on these properties without having to step foot inside. I also have to the left of me, Nick from Fortune Title. Go ahead, Nick, and tell us about yourself.
Nick Timpanero, Fortune Title. We're experts with foreclosure properties. So when you're buying them at sale, we know what to look for to find all the problems. We work with the banks to foreclose, and we work with the banks on the REO end. So we're very cautious as to what needs to be taken care of so you get a good deal.
Thank you, Nick.
Okay.
All right, so let's go ahead and jump into our property. Our very first of the day is 66 Riverside Avenue in Lyndhurst. This home is composed of 1,164 square feet. Let's go ahead and jump into our next slide. And what we're going to do here is we're going to also give you information on what we found on old MLS listings or on tax records. That way you guys can have as much information as possible when you show up to the sale. So in this particular property, it was confirmed to be a 3-bedroom, 3-bath, single-family home. This home was listed as a short sale, and the comments in the short sale stated that the home was approved for a sale of $289,000. The home does require flood insurance, and the taxes are $7,366 per year. The home can be resold for about $290,000. So if you're looking to make a profit on this home, you may want to pay around $200,000 in the event that you may want to make some updates. If you decide to rent the property, you should be receiving at least $2,200 per month in this house. Okay.
Yeah, and interesting enough, in 2007, when this was purchased, it was purchased for $422,000. It appears that the mortgage being foreclosed is a $401,000 mortgage. So I think if you can get it for $200,000, you're doing really good. Taxes are $7,300. LP was filed in 2016. So you want to be cautious of the taxes because once they go into foreclosure, paying the taxes, if the bank isn't keeping them up, there might be taxes owed and due, and you have to make sure on who's paying those taxes. Could be a tax sale certificate on there, and then you would owe a lot more than you think. Next. There we go.
Our next property now is 82 Roosevelt Avenue in Bergen. This is a small home, approximately 960 square feet. Let's go ahead and check out our next slide and see what else we found. Okay, this home is a single family, 2 bedrooms, 1 bath. The home is in total disrepair. The value is in the land as per what the MLS states. The taxes in this home are $7,501 per year. If you build something new or put a huge addition on this home, you can sell the home for about $450,000. You may want to only spend about $175,000 on this particular house because you are going to have about $150,000 in expenses if you do add on or rebuild. Once the home is rebuilt, you can get about $3,000 in rent, and looks like the fix and flip return on this one would be really good if you went that route. Nick, Ted?
It's confusing. It looks like it's a 2017 sale at $120,000. But the mortgages that they list are from 2004. Taxes are $7,500. If you're interested in this one, take a good look at it. Check the taxes. I would run the market, run the title on this. We'll do a preliminary report for like 175, but just to make sure, because this is confusing. They're not showing a mortgage. They're showing one from 2004 and 2006, but they're showing a last market sale of 120,000 in 2017. I would check this out. Confusing.
Yeah, it would be.
Next. Boom, boom.
All right, our next property now is 659 Edgewater Avenue in Litchfield. This home is approximately 1,535 square feet. Okay, according to the information we found, the home was composed of 1,535 square feet, like we mentioned earlier. It does have 5 rooms, 3 bedrooms, and 1 full bath with an attached garage, unfinished basement, and the taxes are approximately $6,788 per year. This home can be resold for around $310,000 when it's repaired. You may want to budget $65,000 for construction, and you can rent the home for about $1,900 per month.
Okay, 2013 was a sale price of $243,000, at which time they took a mortgage for $238,000. The list pendants or notice was filed in 2016, so you have a couple of years worth of taxes, which are $6,788. This makes more sense. That's it. Check your taxes. Make sure where they are.
Okay, our next property now is 1367 Academy Lane in Teaneck. This home is around 1,288 square feet. Okay, so according to what we found, it is confirmed to be a single family. The home's square footage is correct at 1,288 square feet. It is only 2 bedrooms and 1 bath. It's not in a flood zone, and the taxes on this home are about $9,473 per year. The home can be resold for around $300,000 when it's repaired. You may want to budget about $45,000 for repairs because it does look pretty good. And the rent on this home would be around $2,200 per month.
The mortgage on this is in 2010 for $207,000. The list pendants for the notice went on in 2014. So you're looking at 4 years of taxes as a possible addition of debt. Taxes being like $1,500 just about. Just make sure you check the taxes if you're going to bid on this, because you don't want to get caught into paying 4 years worth of taxes, which could be close to $40,000. Cute house too. This one's hidden.
Yep. Our next property now is 160 Preston Street in Ridgefield Park. Okay, this home is approximately 1,828 square feet. I guess it would be important to mention that this home owes about $102,000 as the estimated debt, which is a good number for you to know, because if it's worth more than that, then it means that it most likely will appear for sale at around that price. So let's go ahead and jump into our next slide. Okay, on this slide, we were able to find out that this home is approximately 1,828 square feet. It is a single family home. The taxes in this home are around $11,876 per year. And it's not in a flood zone. There are no previous MLS records on this, so that was all the information we were able to dig up. The home can be resold for about $388,000 when it's repaired. You may want to budget $60,000 for repairs, and you can rent this home for around $2,800 per month.
They don't give me a lot of information on this one, but under their tax information, they're showing delinquent tax bill, $41,954. That's a lot of money due on taxes. That's all I have on that. No foreclosure information on it. But if you're looking at this, check with the tax collector on that delinquent tax bill.
That's pretty high.
Because that is pretty high, $41,000.
Next property now is 51-53 Woodland Avenue, Cary. This is actually a multi-family home with 2,040 square feet. It's a side-by-side style 2-family. Let's go ahead and jump into the next slide. Okay, so as confirmed, it was a two-family home with 4 beds and 2 baths, 2 bedrooms on each side, 1 bath on each side. It does have separate driveways also, which is a very appealing characteristic of this home. It does have a newer roof, separate basements as well, and separate utilities. Taxes are $11,406 per year. This home can be resold for about $390,000 when it's in good condition. You may want to budget $60,000 for repairs, and you can get as much as $4,000 in rent for this home. Nick?
I own a duplex like this. It's nice. This mortgage was in 2006. It was $391,000. There was a second mortgage on it, which would be wiped out through the foreclosure. This pendant was filed in 2015, so you're looking at 3 years worth of taxes at $11,400 per year. So they could have an outstanding tax bill. So again, make sure you call the tax collector and check the taxes. Make sure who's paying them too if they pay that. And it's not a lien holder. Two-family though. Yeah.
All right, our next property now is 202 Ricklet Road. I hope that's how you pronounce that, in New Milford. This home is a single-family residence with approximately 1,716 square feet. The total estimated debt on this home is $586,301. Let's go ahead and jump into our next slide and see what we found. Okay, so this is confirmed to be a single-family home. The living area of this home is 1,716 square feet. It does have 8 rooms, 4 bedrooms, 2 baths. It does have an attached garage. It's a Cape Cod style home with a dormer, and the taxes in this home are about $10,000 a year, $10,072 per year. This home could be resold for $450,000 when it's in renovated condition. Budget $60,000 for repairs, and you can get about $2,800 in rent.
Okay, this house was sold in 2005 for $440,000. They took a purchase money mortgage. The first list pendants was filed in 2010. So they've been trying to save themselves here for a while. And then they filed a second one in 2015. So there is a small gap period there, and be cautious because when you run the title, if anything is filed in that gap period and they don't take care of it, it's going to be a tax to the house. And there's a chance that they came out of foreclosure and went back in on a new docket, and we really need to be cautious of the judgments and liens and make sure everything is named properly. Taxes are $10,000. So you're looking at a large amount of taxes that could be due. Whoa.
Okay, our next property now is 891 Olentangy Road, Franklin Lakes. This is a Center Hall Colonial, newer construction, approximate square footage, 4,612. The estimated debt on this property is $1,071,610. Let's go ahead and jump into the next slide and see what other information we're going to pull up. Okay, so MLS, this short sale was approved when it was on the MLS for $900,000. The home has a lot of amenities. It has 11 plus rooms, 5 bedrooms, 5.5 baths, formal living room with a fireplace, formal dining room, and spacious kitchen, colonial style home. Taxes on this home are $18,117 per month. The home is worth about $1.1 million. You may want to budget about $45,000 for some cleanup and some repairs, and you can rent this home for about $5,000 per month.
$1.4 million in 2006. We took out $1 million mortgage, purchase money. Taxes are a little over $18,000 per year. There's a history here that they're showing that there was a new listing in 2017 for $950. So you could probably get a good deal getting it at a good price. Make sure you check the taxes on these things. Again. $1 home.
Okay, our next property now is 86 Spear Street in Oakland, New Jersey. This home is a ranch-style home with approximately 1,372 square feet. The estimated debt on this home is $434,434. Let's go ahead and look at our next slide. On this slide, we're able to confirm that the home is a single family with 3 beds, 2 baths. There is gas in the home, but it does have septic as a sewer system. It has a newer roof back in 2004, and it has over a half an acre of land. The taxes are $10,547 per year. The home can be resold for around $450,000 when it's repaired. You want to budget $60,000 for construction, and you can get $2,800 for rent on this property.
All right, this was purchased in 2005 for $540,000. The mortgage was $432,000. The list pendants was filed in 2016. 2 years worth of taxes you're looking at, and the taxes being about 10.5, 10.6. Just make sure you check them. It'll be a good deal.
All right, our next property now is 194 Walnut Street in Teaneck. This home is a single family with about 1,327 square feet. The approximate estimated debt on this, is $394,685. Let's go ahead and look at that next slide. All right, so we were able to confirm the square footage on it being 1,327. It is a single family home with a detached 1-car garage. There are 8 rooms in the house, 3 bedrooms, 1.5 baths. The school rating in town is an 8, and taxes on this home are about $9,288 per year. And there is an MLS number in this one in case you want to research that on your own. The home is worth about $350,000 when it's repaired. The construction budget could be $60,000 on this home or more. The rent on this home could be as much as $2,600 per month as well.
Okay, it was bought in 2006 for $365,000. Where they took a mortgage out for $292,000, and that would be the one they were foreclosing. The LP was filed 2016, so the only thing would be checking your taxes for the last 2 years, make sure they're paid up to date. Taxes being almost $9,300.
Our next property now is 16 Engle Street in Cresskill. This is a really nice Dutch, I think it's a Dutch colonial, about 1,950 square feet. Let's go ahead and look at our next slide and see what other information we're able to find. Okay, the taxes on this home are about $10,359 per year. The home is composed of 3 bedrooms, 2 baths, and it's located on the East Hill in Cresskill. This home can be resold for about $575,000. You may want to budget $75,000 for repairs, and you can get about $3,500 in rent for a home like this.
Okay, the mortgage on this is a $500,000 mortgage from 2006. The show in the LP was filed in 2016, and there are unpaid balance they show as $829,000. That's not what they're going to accept at a sheriff's sale. They'll usually accept what's within the market value or covering their costs. The taxes on it are $10,400 from what I have, and make sure you check them because they are 2 years old. Amazing.
Okay, our next property now is 553 Holly Court in Mahwah. This is a condo-style property with approximately 1,108 square feet. The estimated debt on this property is $345,646. Let's look at our next slide. Okay, as mentioned, this is on the 2nd floor. It's considered to be a penthouse style unit. Has sliding glass doors to the balcony, 5 rooms, a total in the unit, 2 bedrooms, 2 baths. The square footage of living area is 1,108 square feet. The tax on this property is $5,122. And this home you want to be careful with because it did have previous MLS listings where it was being rented out. So you may encounter yourself with a tenant in this unit if you purchase it without knocking first. The home can be resold for about $352,000 when it's in good condition. Budget $25,000 for repairs, and you can get about $2,200 in rent. Nick?
Loan history shows us a mortgage of 296 from 2005. And there's another one in 2012 for 287. So I'm going to assume that they might have refied. The information we get here is not as accurate as I would like it to be. But the taxes are $5,100 and the LP was filed 2015. So you've got your tax to take a look at. Condo dues that would be on here, as long as they're mentioned in the sheriff's deed, will be eliminated. You will be responsible for paying 6 months. And when you take it at sheriff's sale, there might be a membership fee or an account fee that the association is going to throw on, where you sometimes have to put up another additional 2 months of association dues and pay a fee for them to open up the account so they don't lose everything. I'm sure there's dues owed on it because that's not paid by the bank, that's paid by the individual. They're failing on their mortgage, they're not paying their condo dues.
Great intelligence, Nick.
Keep it going. Does this one come with the bicycle?
Okay, our next property is 112 Front Street in North Arlington. This home is approximately 1,640 square feet. Let's go ahead and jump into our next slide and see what other items we found. So why I always tell you to check with someone who has resources is because a home may appear to be one thing and it's actually something totally different. So this home does appear to be a single family house, but it's actually a 2-family home. And it has 8 rooms, 4 bedrooms, 2 baths. It has an attached garage. It has a living area of 1,640 square feet. School rating in town is an 8, so that's a really good district. Taxes on this are $9,149 per year. The home is in great condition according to the MLS, and it does have a finished basement. The home can be resold for $465,000 when it's in good condition. You may want to budget $45,000 for repairs if any are needed, and you can get as much as $4,000 a rent for this home. Nick?
The mortgage on this was from 2015, $361,000. The list pendants was filed January of 2017. So they did not go far. Taxes, $9,149. Just make sure you check them just to make sure that they're still cut up to date. This probably the bank was still paying. My guess.
Okay, our next property now is 1344-46 South End Parkway in Plainfield. This home is a Cape Cod style with about 976 square feet. Okay, there's not too much information we were able to pull up on this, but the living area is confirmed to be 976 square feet. This is a single family. The school rating locally is 7 stars. It's not in a flood zone, and the taxes are $9,000 per year. This home can be resold for around $300,000 when repaired. It looks like it's in good condition now. They may want to budget $25,000 for any cleanups or any small repairs. You can get about $2,000 in rent for this home as well. Nick?
This looks like it was purchased in 2015 for $249,000. There was a mortgage for $244,000. There's a second on it, and so they might have done some repairs to it. The unpaid balance on this is $215,000, so it's pretty close to numbers matching going all the way through. So it might be a nice deal to go to. Again, check the taxes because they're $6,700. You just want to make sure that they are paid, and if they are, that they're paid by either the bank or the individual and not a tax lien holder.
I'm sorry, I just noticed it had a number on the previous page, 46. Is that an apartment number in this area or what? Is that anything to be worried about there?
Because it's a double lot address, so it's 1344 through 1346.
Gotcha.
So that's why it shows like that.
Thank you.
No worries.
Next.
Okay, our next property now is 524 Garfield Street in Linden. This Cape Cod style home is 1,419 square feet. Let's go ahead and look at our next slide. Okay, the square footage is accurate at 960, single family home with 7 rooms, 4 bedrooms, 1 full bath, 1 car garage. Taxes on this home are $8,207. This home can be resold for around $275,000. You may want to budget $45,000 for repairs, and $2,000 a month is what you can get for rent.
2005, it was purchased for 270,000. 2006 is the first mortgage for 240,000. There's a 249 unpaid balance on the lien. Doesn't tell me. This pendants was filed in 2010. We would have to hope that there was a second one filed within 5 years. If not, we had a little bit of a thing to go through to make sure what was done. They don't give us any more information, but I'm going to guess that they might have cured, rescinded the LP, and then probably started up again. Just make sure you check the taxes. You want to make sure $8,000 a year is pretty much.
Nick, could you just give the definition of LP? Sometimes they might.
LP is lis pendens, which is Latin for a notice pending or suit pending. It's a notice to the world that the suit is going on. The lis pendens, the filing of that cuts off any other judgment creditors from putting anything up against the house. So if the judgment comes up after that, it won't be attached to the house. We don't have to worry about it. But it's a cutoff date, and it's a notice to the world that there's a foreclosure going on.
I don't know you spoke Latin.
Yeah, I did. Just a little bit of Latin, you know.
Thank you, sir.
Everything else is Greek. I'm not going to speak Greek.
All right, our next property is 864 Grove Street in Norway.
My hometown.
Yep. All right, so with this property, we're able to confirm that the living area in this home is about 1,223 square feet. It's a single family with 3 beds, 2 baths. It's not in a flood zone. The home is in excellent condition as per the MLS. The taxes in this home are $10,223 per year. This home can be resold at least $305,000, if not more. The repair budget on this could be as much as $50,000 if it needs considerable work. As per the MLS, it does not. The rent on this home could be around $2,000 per month. Now, we're always on fire. We literally just listed a property last week, and we have over 10 offers on the property and right around this neighborhood.
Milton section?
Yeah, right around the high school, the Milton Lake section. Everything around there is really, really moving fast. It's starting to become one of those trendy towns. So if you get an opportunity to make a bid on this, I suggest you do. Nick?
So this was purchased in 2016 for $313,000. The mortgage was for $307,000, and their upset is $315,000. Not sure what they'll take at sale when you go to the auction, but it's within the ranges. Property taxes are $9,500 according to my thing. Still just check it, make sure that they're paid and who they're paid by. Nice looking home.
Our next property now is 150 Augustine Place in Union. Not too much data on this screen, but let's go ahead and see the next slide. All right, so this is another one of those properties that you would think would be a single family, but it's actually a 2-family home. The taxes on this home are $7,931 per year. The home consists of 10 rooms, 5 bedrooms, 2 baths, built-in garage, 2 bedrooms on the first floor, 3 bedrooms on the second floor. This home can be resold for $325,000. You want to budget $45,000 for repairs, and this home can be rented out for about $3,300 per month as well.
And this was purchased in 1999 for $176,000. Looks like the mortgage that we are foreclosing on might be a 2006 mortgage for $146,000. Unpaid balance is $177,000. Something good to look at. Not telling me the taxes though at all, so we'll lose his taxes.
Looks good.
Okay.
Our next property is 1515 Elaine Terrace in Union. Okay, let's jump into our next slide. This is a single family home with school rating, and this neighborhood is a 6. The home is not in a flood zone. Taxes in this property are approximately $8,963 per year. This home can be resold for about $315,000 when it's in renovated condition. Budget $50,000 for repairs, and you can get about $2,200 a month in rent.
Okay, all I have is we have a 2007 mortgage for $332,000. This pendant was originally filed in 2010, refiled in 2015. It's a long time for it to be in foreclosure. Hopefully they've got something done, but the unpaid balance is $429. So I'm not sure what they would accept with the property taxes being $8,700. Make sure you check them. That's all we have in all the history.
Okay, next property now is 150 Willingby Road in Fanwood. This home is approximately 1,636 square feet. The estimated debt on this home is $368,102. Let's go ahead and take a look at our next slide, and we can also confirm that this is a single family composed of 8 rooms, 3 bedrooms, 2 baths. It's not in a flood zone. School rating nearby is a 9. The taxes on this home are $12,789 per year. The repaired value of this home is $525,000. You may want to budget $55,000 for construction, and you can get as much as $3,000 a month for rent on this property.
So the sale price on this in 2006 was $386. At which time they took a mortgage for $347. Those pendants was filed in 2010, hopefully refiled. They're not telling us that, so just be cautious of that, but you'll find out when you do your searching. Property taxes are $1,278, and their unpaid balance is $372. So this looks like a pretty decent deal as long as everything was taken care of. So just check those taxes, because $12,000 a year.
Not far from here, gentlemen, not far from here.
Not far from here.
Last property.
Okay, our last property for today is 190 Belvedere Avenue, Jersey City. This home has an estimated debt of $142,517. Let's go ahead and see our next slide. Okay, on this side, we were able to confirm that this home is single family, built back in 1900, and the home appears to be in fair condition. It is unclear if there is any parking. There is what looks like to be a parking space next door, but the lot size is only 20 wide, so it's pretty confusing on that part. Now, the taxes on this home are about $5,515 per year. The home can be resold for about $200,000 when it's in good condition. The estimated construction costs are about $25,000, and the home can be rented out for about $1,900 per month. Nick?
This was purchased in '99 for $75,000. The mortgage is from 2005. It was $160,000. Looks like it was modified in 2012 to be $157,000. And the notice was filed in 2018, from what I can see. But that's a notice of sale, so they're not telling me when the LP was filed. Just that it's going to sale, and their unpaid balance is $145. So that's not too bad. This could be a good investment. And that's the end of our properties. Make sure you check your taxes on whatever you're going to bid on. Call a tax collector, ask them if they're being paid, and ask them by who. If it's being paid by a tax sale certificate holder, then you're going to have to pay them. The holder gets 18% on whatever they spend. So just so you know.
What did he say?
He didn't say much of anything. He was very quiet today. But he was the guy who was looking at the houses to see if they needed any repairs, and he had nothing to say.
Outstanding.
Yeah. He's like a farmer, outstanding in his field. Yeah. Sorry. Then we have some questions?
Yep. Yes, we're about to move into our question and answer segment. Those of you online have forwarded some questions to us, and we're about to get them out right now. Bear with us 2 seconds.
Good. All right, good. Our first question of the day, is there a year built date when a home will definitely not have an oil tank? Okay, so No, yes and no, because after a certain period of time, they stopped building homes that relied on oil. Well, when I say that, I mean locally in like the northeastern part of New Jersey. There are parts of Jersey that don't have any gas to the homes, so those homes are still built where they're relying on oil or propane to heat their homes. But even if there's a new home that was built in 2010 or 2015, that doesn't mean that the older home that was there before didn't have an oil tank, and that oil tank may still be there, and it was just built on top. So there really isn't a solid answer for you. Yes, after the 50s or 60s, you probably stopped using oil tanks for the most part, but it doesn't mean that there isn't one there. So you should always be cautious, and you should always prepare yourself to deal with one if that ever happens to you. Anything to add to that, Nick?
No, oil tanks are tough. You know, usually visually you can see sometimes if there has been one because the cap might still be there, or you'll see the vents coming out of the side of the house to show that there was oil if you have a little bit. You can check with the building department, see if any permits were built to change the heating system because they have to pull a permit to change then. So you might be able to see if they converted to gas at one time or not. But it's really something that needs to be swept to find out.
Nick, this question is for you. The next question is title.
What are some important issues to look for on title when it comes to something I might need to pay? Taxes, always taxes. They're usually the things you're going to have to pay. The other thing to look for is if you're in a closed community that has a homeowners association, like facing lakes, an area like that where it's closed. Those homeowner associations, different from condo associations, don't necessarily get cut off by the foreclosure. Depends on what their bylaws are. Those are the two things I can really think about, taxes and homeowner associations that are important. Otherwise, everything else will come out in a search that would be there. And sometimes there's things we don't even know about. I just did a property when we got the survey in, we realized that the road was vacated, and for some reason, the neighbor behind our property got a hold of the road, and it shows it to be his ownership. So now our owner is crossing his property to get out on the road. So we insure the ingress and egress because it's illegal to landlock a property. But it could turn into a big lawsuit, but he's still willing to buy it and take his chances and fight them later. But that's one of the things you need to look out for. Can you purchase title insurance before the auction? Yeah, sure. No. Title insurance is covering the marketability of the property and will cover you for what your expenses are. So whatever you're going to pay for the property is what we're going to insure you for. If there's a loss, it's actual loss up to the amount of the policy. You can't increase the amount of the policy to cover what you could make or what you could do. It's actual loss. And the value of the property has to be worth the value of the policy to a minimum. But no, you can't purchase title insurance. The only thing you can do is take a look at the title, and you can purchase a search where we will look at everything depending on how deep you want to go into it. Usually our investor search will cover present owner, tell you what's there. And then once you are the successful bidder, then we do the rest of the search going back 60 years to make sure there's nothing behind. And we'll check the chanceries to make sure that they did everything right in the foreclosure before we will insure the property for whatever you bought it for.
Outstanding.
Okay. Do we have any tips on how to determine if a property is vacant? The only way to determine if a property is vacant is just to go to the property and knock. There's nothing wrong with that. If the home is going to foreclosure, you're allowed to do that. If the person lets you in, then obviously you can have a conversation with them. If no one answers the door and you catch a neighbor, maybe the neighbor will have some insight for you, the mailman or anything. You know, you want to look for signs of the home being neglected. That could be a sign of the home being vacant as well. Just don't break in. Like, don't go into the house if you see the door unlocked and window open. Just knock. There's no laws against knocking, but there definitely are laws against breaking into someone's house. Okay, next question. Can you explain cash for keys? Is this a successful method of negotiated vacancy? Absolutely. It's always the first, second, and maybe third option for me. I hate going through the court systems because it could take a very long time to do that. So you always want to make sure you keep good relationships with the person in the home, whether they're the previous owner or whether they're a tenant. And negotiating cash for keys is definitely like playing poker. You do not want to show your whole hand when you first meet the individual because they may be moving anyway. So there's no need to offer them any money. But in the event that they don't have the money to move out, it is more time, how would I say, it's more favorable in time and in money if you just work something out with them. You know, at maximum, I usually give out a $2,500, but you can choose anywhere between, you know, 500 to that amount to get somebody out in a reasonable amount of time. And make sure you don't give them all the money up front. Make sure you break it up into two parts. Second part given to them after the home is empty and broom swept, because you will find people that leave all their garbage behind for you. So that's not fair either for you. Okay, next question is that for you, Nick? Or is it
on a hard money loan, how much of the purchase price can be financed?
okay?
In my conversations with First Equity, that they'll do 80% of the value,
Up to 90 on some loans.
up to 90 on some, and they'll do 100% of the construction repair.
Yep.
But they do need to look at the house a little more once they have the purchase price for the repair. Almost certain of that. How long does it take? A couple of weeks.
Okay, so the question is, how long does it take to get financing for an auction with hard money loan? Will I be able to pay the balance in time with hard money? It does take a reasonable amount of time, and depending who you're working with. We work with First Equity here a lot, and their turn times are about 2 to 4 weeks, typically on any of these deals, so that's ample time for you to pay off the sheriff. Now, the only issue you may encounter is that some counties do not provide the deed upon payment. They will provide the deed later. If that's the case, then you will not be able to get any hard money financing unless there's a special program that I'm unaware of. But normally what they do is they ask you to close cash and they don't refinance you out once the deed is ready. So hopefully that answers that question. Why do properties get postponed so often? It could be a lot of different reasons. The reasons why I see mostly is because homeowners do have 2 statutory adjournments, which are 2 weeks apiece, so that equates to a full month of a delay. And after that point, they can still go in front of a judge. They can still get more time with the judge. I've seen as much as 60, 90 days additional time. They can file bankruptcy, which could also throw a whole wrench in the system. So it's really hard to say. You know, they can really hold it up a very long time. But typically, you may see 2 delays. If the home is vacant, it's very less of a chance for it to get adjourned than when it is occupied. So hopefully that helps you.
And the bank also.
The bank can adjourn it.
The bank can always adjourn it, and sometimes they'll adjourn it just because they might be working on somebody. There's cases where they've gotten a call from a buyer who's looking to buy it on a short sale. So then they adjourn it to try to make that work out before they can go through the whole thing. But for any reason, the bank can adjourn it just because they don't feel like putting it up that day. They don't think they're going to have enough people bidding on it.
Okay, next question. What is the most costly repair when it comes to trying to rehab one of these properties? Okay, well, if you had to probably pin down one thing, I would have to say that I would say it's either a bad contamination job, or you may have a structural defect in the home, which may have caused the home to slump a lot. I actually recently had one of my agents here buy a home, and it had a really bad sag, which affected the whole home. And you walked in and you felt like you were tilting to one side. So that could become a really big issue. And unfortunately, you can't tell that the home has that issue from the outside. So you really do sometimes have to take these chances. But everything has its remedies and everything has its costs. And hopefully you can find multiple people to bid on your job so you can cut down any extra expense that doesn't need to be made. But I think that those are two of the biggest. And Nick, I don't know if you've seen anything other than that that's pretty good.
No, I've seen foundations being bad, but I mean, if you're going in and you're going to rehab a home, just naturally, kitchens and bathrooms cost a lot more than, just, doing sheetrock and cleaning it up. If you do have a mold contamination, that can be a big problem.
Correct.
Most common mistakes people make when purchasing a property at a sheriff's sale, they forgot to check the taxes. Oops, $41,000 owed. Why do I have to pay that? To me, that is the most thing that you're going to miss. Purchasing a sheriff's sale, drive by, look at it, take an assessment of the property you're looking at. If the house is falling down, you're going to be putting a lot of money into it. And those are the type of houses where you're going to walk in and find the issue. If they're vacant and they've been boarded up, property's not taken care of, you can see through it, you're going to have issues with it. Otherwise, there's always something. It's always a crapshoot. But most mistakes, not checking the taxes, not making sure that there's not that additional amount that you have to pay.
Yeah, I'll piggyback on that. And I think that what I see a lot is that people don't do enough research when purchasing these properties, and they get caught up also in the hype when they're at the auction, which means that they may be bidding against other people who have no idea what they're doing, and they'll just get caught up in the moment and try to outbid someone who has no idea what the market will bear. So I think a little bit of both of those scenarios are the ones that I see most.
Yeah, and knowing what the value of the property could be in the market that you're in, where you're buying.
Having discipline, yeah, absolutely. All right, that wraps it up for today's questions. William, do you have something to add?
Yes, again, we just want to thank everyone for coming and joining us online for our pre-auction reviews. Our next pre-auction review for Hudson, Union, and Bergen counties will be here at Cultural Estates online on what? August 21st, Nick.
Yeah.
Okay? So we want you to please join us for that particular event, auction.com/online review. Please sign up and register early. Also want to let you know that Luis and I will be doing a how to be successful at sheriff sales in New Jersey lunch and learn Friday, July 27th, 2018 here at Cultural Estate. I would urge you to RSVP to C. Williams at auction.com. Reserve your space now. I anticipate this to be crowded with my celebrity real estate expert, Luis Leyva, and who knows else might show up. All right, ladies and gentlemen, so please come in. I've only got about 30 seats, and if you don't know, we've done about 200 people have gotten hands-on information with our lunch and learns that are held here every last Thursday or Friday of the month. And again, the next one will be with Nick starting in September.
September, maybe.
So once again, thank you for joining us. Next week, July 24th at noon, auction.com/online review. Middlesex, Monmouth, and Ocean counties will be reviewed. We'll have another 20 assets to go over.
Someone else from my office will be in my spot.
Once again, on behalf of auction.com, sorry for Mr. Gatchko says he'll be here next week, and so will First Equity. They had some emergencies that just came up. See you next week. Thank you very much.